Hello, beautiful gremlins! This video is actually pretty different from my other ones, so I'm sorry about that. But I needed some video ideas, and also I needed to knock this off my to-do list, so I just thought I would kill two birds with one stone. Actually, I don't want to kill the birds unless I'm hunting and I need the food, but whatever. What I am actually doing is technically still art related, and I am using supplies that I would use in my art normally, so I think it counts. Today, I am working on my July spreads in my bullet journal. I got this bullet journal recently, and by recently, I mean last month. July is going to be my second month with this journal, and I am still trying to find my footing with bullet journaling.
So please go easy on me.
I honestly don't even know if I am doing any of this right, and even while working on this video, I was thinking of all the things I should do in my journal that I didn't have time to squeeze into this video, and it had nothing to do with July, so why would I add it? I do hope you guys enjoy this video. The first thing I wanted to do was make an introduction page for July. This is where I make sure to show off not only the month, but for the theme of the month in this journal. For June, I did a sea theme, and that was so much fun to do. When I was thinking of themes for July, I have to be honest, fireworks and red, white, and blue were the only things that were popping into my mind. Like the true American I am! The problem with that is, I really want to make these months unique and not have anything to do with any holidays that are happening during the month. June for me was even a little stereotypical because it was meant to be a sea summer vibe. So with the 4th of July out of the picture for my theme, I brainstormed a few other things. I remember I originally was going to do flowers for June's theme before I switched it, so I decided to revisit that. I also, for some reason, was loving a night aesthetic at the time, so I wanted to include that as well. So that started my journey of looking up words like midnight flowers and seeing what I could find. I found a lot of purples and blues and purplish blues, and I also found a few bouquets that I thought were adorable. So there's my theme, purple flowers with just a hint of bouquets. I don't know if it is much of an interesting theme, but I like it, and it's my bullet journal, so I can do what I want. And I do love how the first page turned out. The second I decided to incorporate bouquets, I wanted July to be in the bouquet like it was a flower. And that was way harder than I thought it was going to be, but I made it work and I like it a lot. Opening my journal and seeing that drawing in June always made me so happy, so I am trying to accomplish the same thing with this page as well. I chose all my colors carefully and made sure to keep different colors from the purple, like green, in the same general area. I've forgotten what it's called, but I wanted the green to be cooler instead of warm like the purple. That's what I wanted to say. I also decided to add a page for my July goals and things I want to accomplish this month. For pretty much every other page in this journal, I use a different paper and just glue it in, since I'm primarily using alcohol markers. I don't really know what other people use to try to keep the dots in the dotted journal, but this works for me and I'm sticking to it. But genuinely, I have no idea what to do. I don't know anything that doesn't bleed through the other side, and if everything bleeds, I might as well use the supply that I love. Maybe I'm delusional because it is getting harder and harder to close the book from all the glue. I don't really know how you're meant to plan out your days and weeks in a bullet journal, and last month I didn't like what I was able to do with it, so I decided to try and reevaluate what I was doing. I didn't want to draw a new spread every day because I knew full well I would accidentally forget or get busy, so I decided to just lay out all my weeks ahead of time. In June, all my days were written with just to-do lists underneath. But I realized I didn't really need all the lines I provided, and if I did, I could easily remedy it. So I decided to cut that number up to 5 in July. I also added a day's reflection beside it because if the point of journaling is to get your thoughts out and understand yourself better, there should be a spot for me to do that. You will notice that it's a bit lacking in June. And at the end of the entire week, I added a week reflection. Not only because there's an odd number of days in the week, and Saturday looks awkward just sitting alone up there, but also because I could look back on all my days and see what all I did and if I improved with my life or not. And what's the point of giving your month a theme if you aren't going to use it on everything? I added little accessories to the letters of the days, whether it be flowers or leaves, and I always made the Y a bow string? I don't know, but that's what the Y was in July. I love this so much. It keeps me so organized, and I genuinely feel like reflecting at the end of the day is a big help. I just have to remember to do it. But I have been doing well, so that is really great. I feel like I should add the dates to these as well as the day names, but I just keep forgetting. As much as it would be easier for me to just assign a color for every week and use the same one over and over and over again, in order to add different colors for the weeds. Well, at least for the flowers. The leaves stayed the same color because I was too scared of messing up the perfect cool green that I was able to accomplish. I can hear you laughing. Either way, I do like the variation. Now, I do want to tell you why I started to write a bullet journal. I'm sorry if you didn't expect this, but I really want to tell you, so gather around the campfire and listen. At the end of my senior year, I felt genuinely miserable. I was pretty much depressed and rotting through my days, and I didn't feel good about myself at all. Now, there were several things that I forced myself to do when the summer started to try to get myself back on track, because I knew if I was to continue down this path, it would basically lead to self-annihilation. I don't know why, but one of these things I tried was getting a bullet journal. Before getting one, I did research on them and how to use them, and I took such thorough notes. Either way, I felt prepared. Before senior year, I got a planner that genuinely did really good for me to keep me on track with my to-do list and making myself happy every time I crossed something off. But as I got more stressed with school, having to write something in it was getting to be like a chore, and it ended up just disappearing. I felt like one of the reasons was that I was just writing things down and I didn't feel like I was pushing my creativity at all. I had heard of bullet journals, so I decided to look into it. I thought bullet journals would really be my way to go because making my own things sounded so much fun to me. And making all those things in June, it was really fun. There are so many things I should add and really want to add in the future with my bullet journals. And there are some things that I'm going to add in July that I just don't include in this video because it was too personal or some other reason, like I forgot until now. Having a bullet journal has been so fun and I cannot wait to do more with it. Now, personally,
these are my favorite spreads.
It's not like they are overly amazing or anything, but they just look so pretty to me and I love filling them with my books and seeing how much I read. One thing I didn't like in my June spread was that all I did was make a bookshelf and fill it with my T-bar and then color the books in when I finished them. The issue with that is, one, it was cute, but it didn't look that inspiring to me, and two, I didn't finish all the books. So now when I look at the spread, all I see is failure. But I do like the concept. For the July one, I decided to add books to a bookshelf and then have a different page where I actually keep track of all the books and write down my thoughts on them. I don't really like rating books out of 5 stars because there's
so many things
that can go into it. Like, there are books that I have not really liked, but I constantly think about the characters and are still impacted by them. And there are books that I have loved all the way through. There are certain things that fell flat, or maybe I didn't like the ending as much. I don't really like having to analyze my entire feelings and going, well, it must be a 3 out of 5 due to all my confusing thoughts. There are books that I
love
and would recommend. If you put a gun to my head, I would rate like 3 stars. I don't really know why I'm talking about the nuance of star ratings, but I hope it was entertaining for you guys. Also, this is just my personal opinion and the way I like to read books, so if you do star ratings and you really like them, that is amazing for you. Anyway, I did genuinely like my idea of adding the books on bookshelves when I was done with them, so I decided to reuse that idea. I grabbed the first bookshelf I saw that looked semi-cool and just sketched it out on Procreate, and added the July reads, and that's when I realized that I wanted to add the theme of July in my book spread as well. I didn't do it for June, and I feel
really awkward
about it, so I am happy to add these little details for this one. And because I was only a few pages away from finishing the book at the time I was drawing this, I decided to add a tiny little book in preparation. Yeah, don't get attached to it. When I started coloring, I was kind of freaking out because I wanted it to look like a bookshelf while also being a little purple or cool like everything has been so far. Well, when I started drawing, that plan totally flew out the window. Who needs traditional bookshelf colors anyway? I really like this bookshelf, however, when I was drawing the inside, I realized something. How was I meant to draw more books if I colored it in? But I couldn't stop. So I came up with a plan. Remember when I told you not to get attached to this little book? This is why. Decide that when I am done with a book, I will cut out a small piece of paper in the shape of a book and glue it in after drawing on it. Honestly, I think this is really cute and I like how it looks. On the next page, page, I did something a little more basic. I did a rough outline of the book's cover and then put a space for my thoughts next to it. I just finished The Stolen Heir by Holly Black, so that was what I was drawing. I was so happy drawing this because I did not know when I was going to finish a book again. The last book I read put me in a reading slump, so when I got into The Stolen Heir, I was so excited because I was so ready to finish it. Not because it was bad, but actually because I was loving the story so much and was eating it up. Also, this is another reason I don't like the 5-star rating system for me, because even though I genuinely disliked the ending and it put me in a reading slump for that book I finished earlier, gun to the head, I would say it was a 3-star read. And no, I am not telling you what book it is. I already love Fitz from The Keeper of the Lost Cities. You aren't catching another reason to yell at me. Anyway, I liked The Stolen Heir, and I love this reading spread. I think it's so cute, and I'm so excited to do my August reading spread when I get to it, so woo! Also, I do hope you guys like it as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video despite it not being like the things I usually post. I had a lot of fun with it, and it kept my motivation up. Please go and do something that made you happy. You deserve to be happy, so please be happy. Something that makes you happy is watching another video, though the video on your screen is something YouTube put there because it thinks you'll like it. All I did was hit the button in the settings, so check it out if you want to. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. Goodbye.